Good afternoon. Thanks for clicking on to my special Hurricane Irene evening edition of the video blog. We've got a system that's holding its own, so to speak, across basically the southeast of the Bahamas, and I've got major concern, folks, over Irene's intensity. It's been holding at around 978 millibars in pressure. Sustained winds at 100 mile an hour, gusts to 120 miles an hour, continues to move to the west-northwest at around 10 to 13 miles an hour, and of course people in the Bahamas and the United States, in fact, are starting to look into their hurricane plan. If you live in the coastal parts of the Carolinas and even points inland, get yourselves prepared now, folks, for what will be likely, highly likely, a major hurricane by around Friday night into Saturday morning. Now, my major concern, folks, is this: that the waters are very, very warm, about 1 to 2 degrees above normal, and we are now approaching the point where there's peak heating within this western basin of the Atlantic. And the problem is the water temperatures are about as warm as you'll find pretty much in this part of the world. In fact, this is probably the second warmest area around the world for water temperatures. Certainly temperatures averaging just ahead of the path of Irene at around 84 degrees. That's well conducive, and the maximum temperature in areas is 91 degrees, folks. That's water that's warmer than in your bath. So it just shows you how warm. So abundant heat potential, energy potential, as well as the environment surrounding Irene and ahead of Irene. That's the biggest concern, because we've got very light wind shear. That's a difference of wind direction with height, which normally rips apart the systems. But the problem is, folks, Irene is holding its own. It's now moved, it's basically crossing to the north of the islands. And the problem is, folks, it hasn't weakened and it hasn't interacted with land. So there's nothing to suggest that this system is going to weaken. It's only going to go stronger. My concern is by tomorrow or even late tonight, this system undergoes a rapid intensification process. It could jump from a 2 to a 4 in no time. The water surrounding the Bahamas is shallow, and usually when you've got a hurricane that's crossing over a body of water that's deep, you've maybe got about the first 50 to 100 feet where the temperatures is above 80 degrees. That's conducive for strengthening. However, hurricanes tend to churn up deeper water that's colder up to the surface. That limits the potential for intensification. But if you've got a body of water, folks, that's shallow, it's in the 80s, right down to the sea floor, you've got no cold water for the system to then ingest and therefore cut off the potential for intensification. And there's been many hurricanes in the past that have crossed over the shallow area of the western Atlantic right around where the Bahamas are. And these systems have exploded into monster hurricanes. And my concern is by tomorrow, during a 6-hour period, perhaps 6 to 12 hours, you might find that Irene is basically going to, blow up over the Bahamas, and that's my major concern, folks. That the Bahamas could find themselves under a rapidly intensifying storm. I'm not trying to scaremonger. Please don't think that. I'm just sharing the concerns, getting it out there ahead of time, folks. As I believe the potential is there for a Category 4 easily. Perhaps could it even hit Category 5? I'm not sure about that. But certainly a high-end Cat 4 from perhaps 6 hours before was only a Cat 2. That's the concern, and these systems can be very, very dangerous, even more dangerous than a typical Cat 4. You might find that these rapidly intensifying systems can be even more deadly. So I'm not showing you any maps at the moment. I've got many, many videos, plenty of information, plenty of links there for you to see. So I believe you've got enough there. But I'm just sharing a few of my ideas, a few of my thoughts. I'm going to be back with you either tonight or tomorrow afternoon with the latest on Hurricane Irene. But please keep an eye on your TV, your computer, keep up to date with what's happening, and indeed please act if the authorities, your local authorities, start to tell you to get out or get prepared. Please listen to them, folks. This could be a very deadly situation across the Bahamas, and later on this week across the Carolinas, and into the weekend, folks, we've got a deadly situation up the eastern seaboard through the I-95 corridor as well, with flooding rains and even a Category 1 hurricane potentially, all the way up to New York City by the latter part of the weekend. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Bye.